Today, we are diving deep into Cal Newport's incredible book, Deep Work. In a world that is just constantly screaming for our attention, the ability to actually focus, well, it's not just a skill anymore, it's basically a superpower. Okay, let's get into it.
So, does this sound familiar? Your day is just slammed. Back-to-back meetings, a never-ending flood of emails, notifications going off left and right. But then, at the end of the day, you kind of look back and think, what did I actually get done? You are not alone, and believe me, there's a very good reason you feel that way.
Look, this isn't some kind of personal failing on your part. The simple truth is our modern world, especially our digital world, is built from the ground up to shatter our focus. Every single ping, every notification, every time you find yourself scrolling, it's a tiny little tax on your most valuable resource, your attention.
And that's really how we have to look at this. We're not just fighting a little bit of a willpower problem here, we're smack in the middle of a full-blown distraction epidemic. But, and this is the important part, there is an antidote. And this is it. It's called deep work. Now, this isn't about just, working harder or longer hours. It's about working in a state of pure, distraction-free concentration on things that are genuinely tough. This is the zone where the real breakthroughs happen, where you sharpen your skills and where you create stuff that's truly valuable and really, really hard for someone else to just copy. So, the big question is, how do we actually do this? Well, Cal Newport gives us a super clear blueprint. We're going to walk through his 4 main rules, and then we'll see how it all comes together to give you what is, frankly, an unfair advantage. Let's start. Okay, first up, rule number 1, work deeply. This is the bedrock of the whole system. And the biggest insight here is that deep work isn't something that just magically happens when you feel inspired. No, you have to intentionally, deliberately engineer it into your life.
And that means you have to be really intentional. So first, you design your space. Create a place that's actually optimized for focus. Second, you have to schedule it. Put deep work blocks on your calendar and treat them like the most critical meeting of your week. They are non-negotiable. And third, create rituals. Simple cues like a specific time of day or even just a certain cup of coffee that act as a signal to your brain that says, all right, it's go time. Time to focus.
Now, rule 2. This one might sound a little weird at first. It's embrace boredom. I know. In our world that's all about constant stimulation, doing nothing feels wrong. But it is absolutely crucial if you want to build up your mental endurance.
Just look at the difference here. On one side, you've got the stimulation-craving brain, which, let's be honest, is what most of us have been trained to have. The second you feel a tiny bit of boredom, you're reaching for your phone, looking for that little dopamine hit. But the focused brain, it's been trained to resist that impulse. It doesn't run away from the quiet moments. It actually uses them to get stronger, to build that mental muscle for when it's time to really concentrate.
And that's the key idea to hang on to. Seriously, think of it like this. Your concentration is a muscle. Every single time you get that urge to check your phone while you're waiting in line, and you resist it, that's 1 rep. You're making that focus muscle just a little bit stronger.
All right, now for the one that usually makes people a little nervous. Rule number 3, quit social media. But hold on, this isn't about hating technology. Newport frames this as a totally strategic choice you make about your single most valuable asset. And this quote just nails it. Your attention, it's a finite resource. It's like money, but even more valuable. And these platforms are brilliant, sophisticated tools designed specifically to capture and sell that attention. So the real question isn't, are they kind of fun? The question is, are they worth the price you're paying in focus? So how do you decide what to keep and what to ditch? You use what Newport calls the craftsman approach. It's a really simple, powerful filter. Instead of asking, what if I miss out on something, you ask yourself this: does this tool bring significant positive value to my professional goals? And if the answer isn't a loud, obvious yes, then it's probably doing more harm than good.
And finally, to make all this possible, you have to follow rule number 4, drain the shallows. This is all about waging war on all those low-value logistical tasks that, if you let them, will happily eat up your entire day.
For a lot of us in the knowledge economy, our workday looks something like this. A huge chunk of our day, maybe 70%, is spent on shallow work. Answering emails, hopping on status calls, filling out paperwork. It all feels productive, right? But it's the very thing that's crowding out the deep, meaningful work that actually moves the needle.
So you have to get ruthless. You have to defend your time. Set a time budget for email and stick to it.
Get comfortable saying no to meetings and tasks that don't directly serve your most important goals. And you have to protect those deep work hours you've scheduled as if they are sacred, because honestly, they are.
So what happens when you put all these rules into practice? Something pretty incredible, actually. You start to develop a skill that is becoming so rare in our economy that it's also becoming unbelievably valuable. So let's just run through that blueprint one more time. You engineer your focus. You build your concentration muscle by letting yourself be bored. You strategically get rid of the tools that are designed to steal your attention, and you drain away all the shallow stuff to make room for what really matters. That, right there, is the path.
Just remember this. The world is only going to get noisier and more distracting. And in that world, the person who can consistently shut out that noise and focus, that person has an almost unfair advantage. The only question left is, are you ready to claim it?